Okay, that's fine. So this run, you are the CEO. Next one, I'm running the company. Wait, so all right, so at one point with your new quote unquote friend group, did you tell them what you did for a job?
I mean, when they asked, I guess.
And when someone who you like in real life, because I'm assuming that you like them, asks you what you do for real life, what do you tell them?
I tell them what I do for real life.
Which is, okay, that's the interesting part. What is the verbatim that comes out of your mouth?
I tell them I make YouTube videos and I stream video games on a website called Twitch. And sometimes they're familiar with what it is and sometimes they're not.
Okay, so these new friends that you're hobnobbing with in Hawaii, were they familiar with it?
Yeah, but I'm not going to answer any more questions because they're private citizens.
Yeah, but did they ask you more questions about your job, or they just
I'm not
let
going
you
to
have
answer any more questions because they're private citizens.
But you can
It's
just
their
be, you
information.
can,
It's their information to divulge. It's not my information to divulge.
so they must.
Because I know you're putting me on a question ladder. As soon as you answer one question, it's easier to get someone to answer the subsequent questions.
It's not a ladder. I'm trying to get an understanding if they actually know what you do, or if they just let you off the hook with that.
They actually know what I do. When people ask me what I do, I tell them the truth.
Yes, but you.
Although I have been toying with the idea of telling Uber drivers that I'm an administrative assistant at an office because I'm just sick of having the conversation in an Uber. And I feel like it creates some uncomfortable situations where they often want my email address and then to talk to me like after the ride is over and I'm just trying to get home from the airport. But like people that are going to be relatively like, you know, I'm going to see them again. Yeah, I tell them the truth about what I do.
So in the vein of being truthful, then I'm going to flat out ask you what I want to ask you then, instead of getting a roundabout question to get it. So when you say they know what you do, for example, do they know, like, I rated you the other week or early on Monday, and do they know that your conversation on stream is, hey, would you rather drink urine or eat excrement? Like, dude, that's I'm saying, do they know that about you? Do they know that?
I
That's
think
what I'm
that
trying. Do they know?
the average person would be like, that's a silly question. It's a stupid question. I would rather drink urine. The other one's like not even up for discussion. Like, I don't want to drink pee, but if it's pee or poop, I'm drinking the pee. And the thing is, so do I know that they know that's what I'm talking about? No.
So they don't know what you do then.
Well, they know the industry I'm in. It's like when someone tells me that they're an accountant, I'm like, oh, are you in like, you know, tax accounting or like business accounting? Like, I already know enough. I'm not interested in the other part.
So you think they just assume that you talk about that stuff?
Well, I'll tell you, whether they do or they don't, it doesn't embarrass me. If somebody watched that content and they said, you should be embarrassed, that's their own business. I'm not embarrassed about what we talk about.
I'm not asking if you're embarrassed. Well,
then why would I lie if I wasn't embarrassed?
So my question is, you can go ahead and take that item, is like, so on the trip, are you making Twitch jokes or are you Normie Andy? I guess that's what we're getting
I'm
to.
Normie Andy, but I'm also Normie Andy because I'm there with my 4-year-old. I'm not talking about that stuff around my 4-year-old to begin with because she's 4.
Yeah, but what about when they were Hadouking each other on the beach and you had time to spend with the parents?
I'm keeping myself like very close to the situation because, you know, the tide comes in pretty quick.
But I'm saying when they were having a good time and you're like, oh, this is nice, just 4 parents hanging out, the kids are babysitting themselves, like you weren't dropping Twitch humor?
The way that, so all the drinking pee and the
I don't want to talk about that.
Well, you brought it up, so too bad.
Okay.
Do you want the dog food, by the way? Should I re-roll? You're the CEO.
I'm the CEO. I'll take it.
Okay.
All right, re-roll.
You're the CEO. I'm re-rolling that, though. That's a huge item.
For me?
You really, like, so I don't want to use the L word because it's copywritten.
Yeah.
But you lie to the parents at your kid's school and tell them you're in marketing?
I don't even answer them. I will... You have to understand human nature.
You just hit him with like another. You deflect it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh hey, like they're like, hey, what do you do? I'm like, oh, what do you do? And then it just dissipates because people inherently want to. Why? People inherently just want to talk about themselves.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I think it's. So I used to be a little bit more embarrassed, but now, depending on the situation, I actually consider it like a privilege to be able to tell somebody that what I do for work is interesting.
Yeah. Oh, you can have that. Ooh, that's more of a me. This is more of like a executive suite item. But that one that was a good for you.
Yes. No, I understand.
We had a family over with kids, or the mom brought over the kids, and they were all hanging out and stuff. And then I came off a stream, and like I'd seen her around school and stuff. She goes, "Oh, what are you doing there?" I'm like, "Working." She's like, "Oh, what do you do?" And then I told her. She goes, "Oh, I thought you were a drug dealer." And I was like,
that's why you gotta tell them, man.
I was like, "Why do you think that?" She's like, "Well, whenever I asked you what you did for work, you'd always pivot and deflect it." I'm like, "Why would you think I'm a drug dealer? Do I look like a drug dealer?" No, I mean, the reason I don't tell people, I just don't feel like people will understand, you know?
I think like 5 years ago, you had to do more legwork with it.
Yeah.
Now, like everybody in our demographic, at least,
that's an executive item.
Of course,
Yeah.
I didn't even have to ask.
Right.
That's more of an executive item as well.
Yeah, it's an executive item.
Sure.
Okay.
Everybody in our demographic at a minimum watches YouTube. So my experience now is when I tell people that I make YouTube videos about video games, they're like, "Oh, I get it. Like I watch a lot of YouTube videos about like golf or tennis or like, you know, I watch videos where like a dude cleans people's lawns and stuff like that." Hear me out here. If I buy a Spirit Heart CEO and we lock in on the next floor, that's a devil deal guaranteed.
All right. You know, that's a great suggestion. Manager C-suite level Ryan. Let's move on to the end. Chad got mad at me for talking about this, and I think you did too, but it's worth talking about. So someone in chat says, "What country has the best looking people?" And I extrapolated on that, and then I got roasted for it. And then the next day, a bona fide scientific poll came out.
Yeah.
Stating that I was right.
Right. About what specifically?
That Brazil has, according to multiple factors, the highest per capita good-looking people per square foot.
But that's not what I asked you. What I asked you is, in your opinion, what's the ugliest country?
That's bait.
And you keep dodging the question. But some people in your chat keep typing an answer, which makes me laugh because they're going to get IP banned. Which is the whole reason I'm asking to begin with.
Well, because Chad says, "Oh, it's insensitive to say that," but the poll that came out took on a myriad of facts, not just looks. I didn't know that there was an ugly country, but apparently,
I think all people are beautiful. In their own way.
but according to everyone in both of our chats, there is an ugly country.
I'm not even looking at chat. I'm streaming right now.
Oh, okay.
Use a speed upgrade, considering I have no other items at all.
What do you mean? Do you have just as many items as I do?
What are your items right now?
Mr. Squeezy, the Mark, Pentagram, Onion, 9-volt, Mom's Pearls, and dog food.
So I have caffeine pill, which I just got, experimental treatment, and something that made my tears larger.
That's pretty good. That's a good start for you.
Hey, I mean, it's the 3rd floor, and I got 3 items. What am I complaining about?
Real quick, hold on. After this room,
if you say you got to fix something on your controller after you took all the good items,
no. Look down for a second. Go all the way down. Okay. Kind of looks like you.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, that's an executive item, but I'll allow you to take it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
I don't know. Oh, actually, I know exactly where the second secret room is going to be. It's going to be right here. Right? Oh, it can't be there. It's going to be right here.
My man.
Peek out our heads. It's going to be right here. Give me a second, Dan. Okay. Oh, hang on. What is that? I don't think you should be posting that. Hey,
okay. This one's better.
You may want to consider re-rolling this caffeine pill or whatever it's called. Re-rolling that. Yeah, I think that's whatever that is for sure.
Eddie said there's a hidden emote wheel as well. Eddie, can you just tell me? Come on, I got this one. I got this one.
Okay.
No, I don't got this one.
Have you ever considered perhaps right in this room somewhere? Boss?
Yeah.
That's why you're the CEO, man.
That's right, buddy. Hey, 10 cent an hour raise for you.
Mayhaps.
Wait a second. Hold on. Come a little bit closer to me. Just get a little bit closer. That's a little too close.
Okay, just one step at a time. Okay, one step at a time.
Oh no! This, my friend, this is the executive suite. This is for those of us that.
Okay, but boss, hear me out.
Yes.
We fight the angel first. That way, I'll get a D6 charge, and we can re-roll the first key piece to become another angel deal.
Hold on. I got an idea. Why don't we fight the angel so that you get another D6 charge and we can re-roll the items?
Genius.
Oh, thanks. All right.
I couldn't have thought of it myself.
Hey, I'm glad you're part of the corporation. Here we go.
And you are so good at the game, and I'm so bad that you need to make sure you put a lot of damage on the boss. Because I'm just like a little peon. Like I barely do any damage at all. So he shoots on the cardinal directions. So when he is ready to fire, you stand on a diagonal. Look at that.
Hey, so he shoots in cardinal directions.
Yeah.
When he shoots, you want to stand in between the cardinal directions.
You know, wait, he actually shoots on the diagonal sometimes too.
Yeah, and sometimes he shoots on a diagonal. But if you look at the flashing, he shows you where he's going to shoot.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, that's why I'm the CEO. Diagonal. Up. I'm gonna need some more performance out of you. I'm gonna need some overtime. There we go.
All right, so this is just what I've read online.
Okay.
In my research, cracked crown is really good, but it only works if you're on full HP. So
that wouldn't be a good item for you based on your historical performance.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, I forget what the item on the left does. Maybe it's like guaranteed angel deals. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So the item on the left, you wouldn't know this at your level. It's guaranteed angel deals.
That's all you, boss. That's an executive level item right there.
But I didn't tell you to re-roll it.
You were gonna pick up the key piece, huh?
Yeah. Is that insubordination I sense in your tone?
Well, guess so. You pick it up. Pick it up.
No. That's not how you pick it up.
Okay. Yeah. I'll pick it up.
Right.
But here's the thing. Guess what?
What?
We got another key piece coming right away.
Hey, you want to know the cool thing? We got another key piece coming up right away.
We could just leave.
No, we're key piecing.
Key piece with the Eucharist is a very... Well, you know what? It's an avant-garde strategy, and that's why I like it. Oops.
So when he flashes, he shows you where he's shooting. All right, you can go ahead and pick. That's a U item.
That's where we stop.
You know who gets the last one, right?
We might as well. Let's just complete the key piece right here. Why not?
I know I've asked you this 100 times, but I figure maybe it changed now that you've had kids. If you were not streaming, would you be in software development, or what would you be doing, you think?
I probably would be, yeah. I don't know, it depends. Like, there's a lot of... It changes so much of my adult life that it's kind of impossible to predict it with any kind of confidence, I think. But that would be probably the most likely outcome if I had to guess.
Do you think if, like, tomorrow, Twitch, YouTube evaporated,
right,
how long would it take you to get proficient in software engineering?
I don't know if that's what I would do now.
What would you do now? Go back to teaching?
I have no idea, honestly.
What would you do now?
I don't know.
Well, that's we're here to explore in this venue of Co-op Isaac.
I don't know.
Well, give me like one thing that tickles your fancy, you know? Chad, he doesn't want to say he would retire, all right? We would be done.
Well,
all right?
I don't think I would retire.
I'll speak for you. You'd be done.
You gotta do something. I'm only 35 years old. I don't know. I mean, you basically, it's kind of, I don't think it's a rude question, but it's an unfair question. You're asking someone who's only done one thing for their whole life. Hey, if the thing didn't exist, what would you do? I don't know. I have absolutely no idea, man. I got no experience in anything else.
Okay, well, was it fair if you were a video store rental clerk? That job evaporated, but they had to figure it out.
But I also feel like if you walked into a video store and were like, hey, what are you going to do now that Netflix is here? They'd be like, get out of my store, man. Let me enjoy the time I have left, at least.
All right, fair enough. Let's keep
I don't
cooking.
know, what would you do? Go into marketing?
I think I'd probably go back to teaching.
I don't think I could do it, man. I've got too much built up history of like yelling at chat.
But I think that would make you a better teacher, because you're like, hey, little Timmy threw a spitball at you. You've dealt with the likes of Faint Bunny. Little Timmy's nothing.
I don't know. It seems it's a very like thankless job.
Well, you need a lot of thanks. Never mind. Just do
Well,
that.
like,
You ask for more +2s than the average accountant.
I just asked for what is owed to me. But either way, either thanks or money would be like both would be nice.
Yes.
But like I feel like with teaching you get like neither.
You get some thanks like 10 years later, right?
Yeah, but it's always like, isn't there like a little subtext to the thanks that's like, hey, oh, Mr. Gheesling, thanks for setting me on the right course in history class. Thanks to that, I didn't have to become a teacher like you. I'm doing something else with my life.
When I was like teaching and I didn't fully guaranteed double deal. You can take that. You need that. Oops, sorry.
You took it, bro.
I know. I thought that was you. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. You can take that one.
Oh, thank you.
You know what? You haven't gotten a lot of praise lately. You can take that one.
Thank you so much.
How's your D?
I have a personal question. It's really bad, so you should take it because the spiders do damage scaling based on your damage.
Okay, fair enough.
So I used to cope and say like, well, after doing this for a long time, I could pitch myself. Like I ran my own business and, I could work in marketing or maybe I could be PR for games or something. Now, after knowing what I know about the streaming community, I would never hire another streamer for a real job ever. Even the best one.
Why?
Don't read emails. That's a big one. Bad communicators. Flaky, unreliable. Way too used to being their own boss. Don't do well with disagreement. Everybody's different, but like there's some overarching truths I think in that. It depends on like the role.
I mean, so
we needed like a court jester or something, like if it was like a medieval type situation.
No, but what role could a streamer fill in a modern day corporation, in your opinion, that could maybe at least not get fired at?
CEO.
Come on.
That's about it. I'm not joking. I think that's about it.
You don't think there's anything a streamer could do?
Well, I think the CEO is the easiest one because, you need the whole board to fire you.
I'm having a hard time a little bit delineating which one is my guy. Or do you ever look at my guy and think it's your guy? Or no?
I don't.
Okay.
But I can't tell you what the trick is.
Sounds like a me problem.
I guess, like, I don't mean this to be condescending, but like if you're pressing buttons and one of the dudes is moving corresponding to the way those buttons are being pressed, that's likely you. Was it condescending? I really didn't want it to be. I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Chad, is this how he always is? Hold on a second. Eddie says go into options and make other players transparent.
Oh, if I was invisible. You know that one?
Yeah.
Clay Aiken, baby.
No, it's Tracy Chapman.
That's Clay Aiken, man. Some health. I could use a bomb to. Hang on. Let me do some body blocking for you. Sorry, we got so much money for revives. Like it's a joke.
Okay. I'm trusting.
But I think just real quick, I'm just gonna check out what's going on in here. That's not very good. That's pretty solid though. I think I'm gonna make an executive decision because the boss is out of town, and I'll pick that one up for myself. Ooh.
That's one of my favorite items. You know that, right?
Well, you had PTO.
Okay, fair enough.
I want to say something, and I don't mean this to sound anti-American or rude. I think you're in a different position because you live in Michigan. But I think the average American just assumes that Canada is like really far away, even though it's literally like the closest country. I say that because anytime we were in Hawaii, if someone would be like, I'm from New York, everyone would be like, yeah, whatever, New York, that's America. If we were like, we're from British Columbia, people were like, what?
Yeah, but
a foreign land, man? How did you get here, on like a spaceship? And I'm like, the dude from New York took a flight that was like I don't even know, like triple the length as the one that we took.
Yeah, but do you say British Columbia as smug as you just did to me as to random strangers?
I also feel, and I don't know why, the Americans feel condescended to all the time. They feel talked down to. And I don't know what it is about that, but...
You're not from British Columbia, you're from Canada. British Columbia
you're not
makes
from Michigan, you're from the United States.
Yeah, but people know what Michigan is, they don't know what British Columbia is.
See, that's condescending.
It's not, though. It's true. If you were to ask a lot of people, have they ever heard of British Columbia? The answer is no.
If you were to ask a lot of Canadians, they would be like, yes.
Yeah, but Canadians.
Yes.
Like outside of maple syrup and hockey, what are we looking at here, brother?
See, this is why everybody's preying on your downfall. That's all I'm gonna say.
What do you mean? Tell me. I want educate me. Educate me. Please educate me.
I'm from British Columbia. What do you want me to say, man?
What do you do?
What do you mean? What do I do?
Reroll. What have you done?
I'm gonna come in here and reroll because it's a better optics, man. That's good. That's a very good item. I got a spirit heart already. You take it. You take it.
I love Canada, but you got to help me. Like I'm coming to you with open arms.
So I know all 50 states, which is more than most Americans can say.
Yes.
But you guys don't have to know any provinces at all?
Buddy.
It's entitlement, man.
We learn about advancements in society. Okay?
Right.
So
you learn parts of American history. I know.
So I'm just asking. So because I didn't have Canadian history, nor I don't believe a Canadian history exists in the United States.
I wouldn't say that personally, but you go ahead.
Okay, because it doesn't. So just that I am admitting to not knowing anything about Canada. So please tell me what Canada's done.
Here's what I'll say in your defense.
Yes.
It's easier for citizens of other countries to learn more about the U.S. because the United States have achieved a cultural victory over basically the entire world. So you ambiently pick up a lot of knowledge about the United States.
I'm getting a whole lot of nothing. I asked one question.
Well, I'm defending you.
But defend me with things that Canada has done. Maple syrup
we
hockey.
isolated insulin used in the treatment of diabetes.
So you have insulin, hockey, and syrup, okay?
Sure, yeah. I mean, listen, I think you're dragging me into what I would call a false dilemma.
No, I'm asking to be educated.
No, you haven't let me set the stage.
Educate me.
The idea is that, like, has Canada contributed as much to the global consciousness as the United States? No. Younger country, way less people, much less prominent on the global stage for sure. So I'm not going to get dragged into like a, whataboutism. I'm just going to say I know 100 times, maybe 1,000 times more about your country than you know about mine. So to have that ignorance is understandable given the proliferation of U.S. culture. But to be proud of that ignorance is a character flaw.
It's not
that
ignorance.
Runs throughout the fabric of your nation.
Okay,
which is a great country, but you could stand to expand your worldview.
Okay, let me explain this to you in a world you would know. Okay. You're saying if items are cultural significance, you're asking me to name every item in Spelunky, right? And I'm asking you to name every item in Isaac. One you can do, one you cannot. One is infinite. The other is, you got a handful of items in Spelunky. I'm asking you, I know plasma gun, I know jetpack, I know Vlad's cape. Tell me the other 7 that are out there, because I don't know them.
Right. But I'm really just asking you, like, in the however many years you've been on the planet, like, to know that Ontario, Quebec, and British Columbia are provinces. I'm not even asking for, like, the provinces that don't matter, like New Brunswick. I'm talking about, like,
I can name them all. I can name them all.
Name all the provinces?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. Well, I believe you.
But naming province is different than saying what has that province created and or done.
Well, I'm more just asking, like on a bus trip, I would expect that people would know where British Columbia is. Because they're all adults who have like college educations and like jobs and stuff like that.
I don't necessarily disagree, but what have inside of British Columbia, what has been done?
Brother, I don't know what the Arkansas has done. I know where it is.
Buddy, they made Bill Clinton. Oh, they're right, bang, bang, right there. I don't have to think, and I
That's a person
don't know.
that's from there. That's not something that like they've done.
They made him.
I don't understand why that matters, man.
Ever tell you about the time I got stopped at the Canadian border?
I don't think so.
And this, I mean, I'm just telling you, this is my final dunk. This just goes to show you your lack of punch. They brought me to Canada to help host the national morning show. Like, imagine having that much.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Canada AM.
Imagine having that much lack of talent to bring in me from America to do it. Anyways, so I'm running late. I'm at the border, and the guy pulls me over. I'm not gonna lie. This was a long time ago. It's a different era, Dan. I'm like, come on, man, really? Like, he's like, what are you here for? He goes, I go, well, I'm hosting the national morning show, and he looked at me, goes, you? He goes, get in the back. And the dude kept me 2 hours longer, but just because he thought I was memeing him. I'm like, and then I kind of played like, hey, there's an email from the morning show. I was like, I don't care. You don't have the right stuff. Get in there.
Well, I'm not taking his side, but I guess you're working, right? So you're probably supposed to have like a work visa.
Yeah, probably.
But I like basically support lying to the border guards like whenever possible, because I don't consider them to have any real authority over me because I'm not smuggling drugs or people.
Wait, are you one of those people that I ran into in New World? Chat, what are they called?
Oh, sovereign citizens?
Yeah.
No, I'm not a sovereign citizen. I'm trying to think of the best way to say this in a way that's not incriminating. I'm not doing any crimes, so I personally don't feel like I have any moral imperative to answer the questions that they ask me with 100% honesty.
So, like, hypothetically
Because I don't
speaking,
consider them, I'm not saying they're not real people, but I don't consider their office to be real.
I have to reroll, huh?
That's a pretty good
one. Executive item on the left, item for you on the right. Oh, we should have timed it. We could have both got it.
Oh, I think it's okay. I mean, you got the one that's worth like 98% of the goods there.
You can have that one. And I want to get this on film because people in the comments be like, oh, he's so K-Kona. I'm joking, okay? I'm
not joking.
I am. Oh, this guy. Well, I'm gonna go on your Discord. Waggle asked me, like, oh, can you believe the go on this guy, Dan? Just being
listen, I've had my own problems with Waggle Glass. Okay.
Brother, he talks trash about me in your Discord. Comes to my Discord, talks trash about you in my Discord. I'm like, brother, how about you just stop talking trash?
I'm playing both sides.
Yeah.
So there's two border incidents for me that like stick in my head at the U.S. border, and it would probably be exactly the same if I was American and this happened at the Canadian border. I don't think it's like a country by country thing. Once I went in to take my Unity certification test because the closest place to do it was in Washington State. And the dude was like grilling me about like, it sounds like you're trying to like take a job in America and like maybe you won't leave after you get the job, even though you're not a citizen or like a permanent resident or whatever. And I basically, in more polite words, I sort of had to explain to him like, buddy, don't flatter yourself. Like we're doing all right up in Canada. Trust me, I'm not up here trying to take like a Unity programmer job in Redmond, Washington right now. This is more like personal development. But then the other time, this was our bad. We didn't realize, like our daughter had a passport, but in order to use the Nexus lane, we didn't realize that like a literal infant also needed a Nexus. So we tried to go, because like dogs don't.
How about the tone when you said literal infant? I imagine that's
she was like 11 months old. The reason I say it condescendingly is because they have to go through an interview. So I naively thought they're not going to interview like a little baby to make sure she's not like a terrorist or whatever. But obviously the American Department of Homeland Security thinks differently about Canadian babies. So whatever, that's you're coming into their country, you have to follow their rules. But the dude was very, very, he thought it was a huge deal and was disappointed that I was just like, oh, I made a mistake. And he was like, it felt like he was trying to browbeat me. He's like, I don't think you're like apologetic about this at all. Like maybe I should just make you turn around and go home. And I was like, oh, I am sorry that I forgot it. But like, if you're going to make us go home, like, I mean, we live in a nice place. Like you're not sending us back to hell. Like, what is that your threat? Go back to your nice house with your family and eat some good food instead of coming up to Blaine, Washington. Get like cheap gas or something? Like what you there's nothing past the gate, man.
Take that. How did it shake out? Did he let you in?
Yeah, he let us in, but said next time bring the Nexus. And I said, thank you, sir. But in my head, I was like, that's right.
Take that.
A lot of bluster and no teeth, man.
It's a reroll, right?
Yeah. That's a reroll. You know what? Allow me to do the that's a reroll too. So I'll do the honors. I don't even remember what that is.
You take it.
Divine protection.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that. They
What do
did take my mother-in-law's Nexus though, because she lied to the agent.
What? But how could you have lied in that scenario?
I don't want to get into the specifics of it
Well,
for her.
hypothetically speaking. All right, fair enough.
She wasn't smuggling anything. That's what I'm going to say. It wasn't like they asked her, do you have anything in the car? And she said no, and then she did. It wasn't that, which is probably the most likely lie. It's a funnier lie that I don't want to get into.
Okay, I respect it. I don't respect
For her privacy.
I don't respect protecting random new friend circles, but I respect you protecting your mother-in-law.
And I've lit her up a couple of times on the stream in the past, so.
You have? Does she watch?
I don't know if... No. I don't know if I've ever told you this story.
No, you've never said anything bad about anyone in your family.
So this is like 2021, okay? Which is important context because like COVID was still like going on, maybe even accelerating, right?
Yeah.
So my father-in-law had like literally, I guess it's not brain surgery, like they didn't open up his scalp, but he had surgery on his brain.
Holy.
Where they like shoved like an arthroscopic device like into his leg and then ran it up his spinal cord to like remove like a blood clot from his brain. So this was like a month before that.
Can I ask you one quick question? Was that
Yeah.
what country did that surgery take place in?
That was Canada.
Okay. Just wondering. Right, go ahead.
He had the surgery, and he had afterwards he had like mild but concerning symptoms.
Okay.
Like dizziness, headache, stuff that like
Scary
if you
stuff.
hadn't had brain surgery, you'd probably be like whatever.
Yeah.
But if you had, you'd be like, I gotta go to the doctor. So he was like, I have to go to the ER. Well, wait, I'll skip to the good part. He had to go to the ER. His English is not good. So Kate said, let's do him a favor. You know, it's the weekend. Why don't you go, like he go, check in at the ER. You'll probably be waiting like a few hours because obviously like it's mid-COVID, like it's really, really busy. It's busy to begin with, but this is like the worst of the worst. After you've checked in, like we'll drive out like an hour or something like that, and we'll help you with the appointment so that there's no miscommunication with the doctor. No
Okay.
problem, right? So we get to the ER like an hour and a half after he checked in, and he's not there. And we go, Kate calls him and goes, where are you? And then he says, oh, I checked in. They told me to just wait wherever. So I went home and I'm waiting at home. And we're like, what are you talking about, man? Like, you gotta, they mean like just find a chair, not go to your house. Like, they're not gonna come call you or pick you up and be like, it's time for your appointment. So he drove back to the hospital and Kate sweet-talked the nurse basically and was like, oh yeah, he was like in the bathroom or something when you called his name. So he missed his call. They let him go in. No problem. The appointment's going fine, but it's getting really late. You know, we've been there like 3 or 4 hours and we've got our daughter with us who's not even a year old. And then Kate goes, hey, maybe like mom can pick you up from the hospital because like we got to go home. Our kids got to go to bed. Like she's really young. She's still a baby. So we called Kate's mom to pick up her dad. And this is where it gets good in case you've fallen asleep. Her mom is like, I can't pick him up. I've got like a fever. I feel really weak. I can't taste anything. And then Kate was like, Mom, you have COVID. And she was like, what are you talking about? I don't have COVID. Then Kate was like, do you have a COVID test? So look, flash forward, she had COVID, which her husband didn't know about somehow, which boggles my mind to this day. So then we went in close proximity to him, who is living in a house with literally like a COVID patient. We have our infant with us, who is like 9 months old or whatever. And we checked him into the hospital. They're asking him like all the questions, right? And they're like, you know, do you have any connection to anybody who's been feeling ill? And we're like, no, what are we, stupid? Like, come on, get me in the hospital. Turns out he probably exposed like the whole emergency room to COVID. And I was losing my mind. I was like, we drove an hour to be here to help you out. It turns out that you've exposed us to COVID. This is like before the vaccines came out, but especially before the vaccines came out for like little kids. I was freaking
Did you go off on him, or you just?
I didn't go off on him, but I went off in the car on him to my wife.
Why didn't you say something to him?
I mean, I don't want to be rude, but like, there's just no point.
What do you mean? How is that rude?
It wouldn't have gotten the right message across.
Someone in chat said, I'm hesitant to even read this because I don't know what it means. It says, is he simple or something? What does that mean?
He's not.
What does that mean?
I think you know what it means.
I don't. Otherwise, I wouldn't have read it.
I think you can infer from context clues.
Is that a word from the 50s or something?
Yeah?
Okay. Is it like of mice and men type question?
Yes.
Okay, all right. That may be the only place I might have heard it in my life, so. All right.
You never seen Tropic Thunder?
No.
Really?
I only watch good movies.
Tropic Thunder is probably one of the best comedies of the 2000s. You can't say it anymore. Well, you can because it's coming back, but.
Wait, can I watch it? Will I find it funny?
I would be surprised if you didn't, honestly. I can't think of a reason why you wouldn't like it.
Okay.
What's your favorite, like, because don't say Back to the Future. What's your favorite, like, comedy? Like a Dumb and Dumber type, Anchorman?
Yeah, I mean, like, if I need to laugh, I'm watching Dumb and Dumber, or probably in the same vein, but I like to protect its integrity and only watch it once every couple of years. The original Bad News Bears is really funny. Speaking of good movies, Wild Robot's the best kids movie I've seen in 5 years.
You know, I've heard that a lot, actually.
It's really good.
You think it clears Trolls Band Together?
How do you dodge this? Is that new, Eddie?
I think you got to get out in front of it, but it's been a while.
All right. Hey, do you have any interest in joining us for Hardcore WoW Streamer Guild OnlyFans?
I'm out, but like, how long do you think it's permadeath, right? So when you die, you're done.
Yeah.
How long do you think that's gonna last for you?
I mean, you have to be kidding me. I'm going to level 60. There's no way. You think after everything I've been through, I'm not going to level 60?
I genuinely, I have no idea how easy or hard it is to die in WoW. I know it's impossible to die in Final Fantasy XIV because you just, like, there's a line that shows up on the ground and then you just don't stand in it and then you don't take damage. I gotta make an executive decision on that one.
No, I'm with you. So, do you want to get in on it or no? Well, what is this?
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Whoa! Oh, Eddie's been cooking. Let's see who the true Isaac player is. Oh,
he's rinsing me.
You're never living this one down, brother. This is me waxing you in Canadian history. That's what this is up there with. Wait, so do you want to get in on the WoW Guild or no?
Can somebody explain to me why he's immune to bullets? You know what, buddy? No more dodgeball.
Hang in here. Eddie needs that. We need to just play this next time.
Dude, he's crushing me, man. I've never heard Dan so dialed, man.
What do you mean? I'll take my championship in $1 bills, brother. What the heck is this? Is that over?
Help. Help. Oh, the spikes!
Clip
spikes!
that! Clip it! 10,000 hours, my rear.